this is like a little workflow of how this is like a little workflow of how the SIM work. So let's say, for example, we have a desktop here, we have a router here, we have a switch, we have some servers here, we have other like a fire. This is a firewall. So you can see that an agent is stored is installed on the on each of these gadgets, right? Endpoints. Then you can move your syslog, you can move your WMI logs, whatever logs you application security logs, window event logs, Linux logs can be sent. Now these logs will go to what we call a receiver. So generally, in a general architecture for SIEM, they are called receiver, but different vendors have each their name for receiver. Like for Splunk, they call it forwarder. But in the general context, it's a receiver. It receives the logs from the different components, right? When it receives the log, the first thing the receiver does is to pass. To pass the log means bring in the logs, right? Bringing the log the way it is. Normalize the log is to say, okay, this is the log events that you have. This is what we can make sense. If you have 20 log, 20 parameter in the log, now the SIEM can say, okay, out of these 20 parameters, 15 are the major critical ones that I can display, right? Aggregate the log. It will also help you to aggregate those logs, by making sure that they are indexed. So it will add some sort of index parameters to them so that you can search for them easily, right? So this is what the receiver does. Then it moves it to the manager. So on the manager part, that's where the manager will be able to display the normalized logs, right, in a dashboard format, so that you can see it. You can now search for relevant information. You will see a demo as we go on, right? So this is just how the SIEM works. It collects the raw machine data and transform them to a human readable format, right? That's easy for you to search and to analyze or to monitor. This is very critical for security, very, very critical. Okay. So this is data flow. So this is the data flow. We have a data source, which could be like the firewall, like I've said, the server, your database. It could even be from the cloud, right? So these are the different APIs or protocols: syslog, WMI, or SMB, right? We also have from a file server, we could send through file share, right? We have ODBC. These are from database and also from the cloud via an API. So this if the event from the data source are collected, right? Collected here and normalized, right? So we normalize the asset to say, okay, what are the metadata? What are the metadata, the parameter that are critical to this log that we need to display? So once these events are normalized, then they are transported, right, to the manager, where it will be used for analysis and for indexing. Now, indexing is a way of storing the normalized log on the SIEM server, right? So, okay, this is how I have identified this log, and this is how I'm going to search for it when users are looking for details, right? So this is the security analyst that does the searching, and when you do a search, the Splunk will ensure that it checks the index where the logs are stored for those information. If it can find it, it will display it for you. If it can't, it will tell you no record found, right? So in just a nutshell, in the high level, this is how a Splunk work on the background. And it's very important that you understand how the Splunk work in the background, right? So that when you are using the tool, you will understand what is happening.